Hey, it's Aaron, and today I'm with a 2022 Volkswagen Tiguan. The Tiguan sees a couple of changes this year, a couple of upgrades, but is otherwise exactly the same as it was when it was first introduced in this generation, 2018. The Tiguan is Volkswagen's best-selling vehicle in the US and has a lot going for it. The updates that they did this year have really made this a competitive vehicle. Let me explain that. So this package in particular is the R-Line. The R-Line is a option package that just changes a few things, gives you a couple of interior upgrades, a couple of things on the outside, including this little R badge and wheels and so forth. What's under the hood doesn't change. So no matter what version of the Tiguan you're getting these 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. It's turbocharged, outputs 184 horsepower. That goes to an 8-speed automatic transmission. Front-wheel drive is standard, all-wheel drive is optional on all packages, except for one where it is standard. So pretty basic engine by the sound of it. But once you use it, it's different. That 8-speed transmission is making a big difference in this engine. So 184 horsepower is on par with like Nissan Rogue, a couple of others that are not known to be very quick or in a hurry at all. This one though is really good. One, the turbocharging, that really adds a lot of power output quickly, so you don't have to run the RPMs too high to get it. Second, that 8-speed automatic is more than happy to downshift and get you going quick. So at no time have I ever felt that this was underpowered. I never felt like it didn't have the confidence to pull off whatever I was trying to do. I can get to 75 miles an hour on the freeway on-ramps without any issues. I can get out of the light and get going without feeling like I'm holding people back behind me or anything. It's a very, very good setup. So I don't have any issues with the engine. I know others that have reviewed this have. I don't know what they're talking about. So it's not a sports car, but it is a confident, good engine. The rest of the changes on it, you can see some of those on the front fascia. That's why I came up here. So the grille is a little different. You're seeing down here is very different. And the hood looks slightly different. It might just be because of this stuff. So it has a better look. It looks more current, more contemporary. Let's go around the side, look at some style, and then we'll talk about the cargo and the interior and whatever. So from the side here, you're seeing a couple of differences, but not too many. It's pretty much the same as it was before. It's a little bit dirty. We've had a bunch of rain and whatever, but anyway. With the R-Line package, you're seeing these different wheels. These are an upgrade. These are 20-inch right here. So a little bit bigger than you would have on the standard, which I think starts at 17 inches. And then looking at the body lines, you can see they just start. There's no like screwing around. There's no flowing or anything. It just, here's a line and it starts right there. There's like a fade in of about an inch, so it's just really abrupt. Here's a line. Runs all the way down, makes that belt line, and creates the circle around the windows. So you see how it goes all the way back to the back, comes back up, and then runs along here, coming back. It doesn't connect back there, but visually that's what you're seeing is a big circle around this greenhouse. Then you have this line down here where the R badge and stuff are, that runs through the door handles. This is a very deep cut, so that it comes out and then deeply cuts in and then curves back out to this line here before going back. That's a lot of light surface, a lot of reflection, which is why it looks so good. It's not as busy as some vehicles. Car designers are getting away from that. They're starting to move towards being more sleek in their designs. So you have this creating the fender. Back there you have something similar where you have this overhang right here. Because of the way the fender is shaped, this looks like an overhang, so it creates the rear fender back there, giving it a little bit of a haunch. But overall it's made to look clean. That's kind of the word I would use here. It's just made to look clean. It's a really good design. I really like it. I especially like the chrome add-ons because you don't see a lot of that anymore. And I love that chrome down there to kind of separate and sort of create a rocker panel down there. That's a really, really nice touch. So let's go look at cargo and talk about the interior. Before we do that, I want to point out the roof racks. These are not functional on this one, but you can get functional ones for it. So there you go. So at the back here, there were a couple of changes, a couple of design changes. This is slightly different. It's a little less protruding, right? Doesn't stick out quite as much. And then you can see down here, just the flow is slightly different. Not a huge amount of change. Most of the change is actually down here. So this change might actually be because of this. It's hard to say. I'd have to put them side by side. But you can see the exhaust ports are slightly different, and this rear bumper is a little different. Lighting is about the same, I think. I don't think anything changed. So those are the majority of the changes for styling. Another thing, this is a Volkswagen, but this does not open anything. You have to reach under here and find the button like you do on every other vehicle. That's a little Volkswagen quirk that I kind of miss on vehicles like this. Getting inside here in the cargo, it's a pretty good and deep cargo space. It has this cargo cover in this particular one. Underneath here, spare tire and a few tools. You have space for a milk jug over here, another one over here, which is really cool. This is missing them, but there are these inserts that create a little bit of a tall wall for these two. They might be under here, actually. Nope. As well, I should point out, this can move down. By doing so, you're not gaining very much. You gain a slight amount of floor space. It just slides into things and goes forward. Another nice little touch over here is a little handle. I don't know if you can see that. There's one over here too. This handle drops those seats. So this handle drops that seat. That handle drops those two right there, and allows you the cargo pass through. Pretty decent sized cargo space and pretty useful. So there you go. Let's get inside before the wind knocks everything over again. The wind has certainly dried my hair out, as it were. Anyway, back seat back here. This is a very good seat. Let me sit straight instead of, all right. Pretty good headroom. I can feel my hair touching, but that's because I have a lot of hair sticking up. Actual headroom is about that far, so 1.5 inches. I'm at 6'3". Lots of leg room. So this seat is actually for me up there, and you can see I have a ton of leg room. Plus, I can put my feet under the seat without a problem. That is phenomenal. This is more leg room than I've seen in most vehicles of this size. So this is a lot of rear space. The seating back here is pretty good. It's not great, but it's not terrible. Feels good. The panoramic sunroof, if that weren't in here, it would have even more headroom. But it's nice back here. There's a USB-C port. There's a 12 volt. There's a couple of drink holders, one on each door, plus the fold down bit back here for 2 more. Nice little kind of a, just a nice interior. Now getting 3 across, this is a smaller vehicle, so you're not going to get 3 across comfortably, but it is a very well done vehicle back here. Let's go look up front. So up front here, very nice driver's seat, very, very comfortable. Passenger seat is the same. You have a lot of adjustment in this car, but the biggest change and the biggest upgrade for this car by far is this interior. You have the wood inlay, you have some extra striping and chrome, you have just a lot of stuff that add bling that Volkswagen hasn't had before. One of my chief complaints with Volkswagen has been their penchant for Teutonic design. That's where the function makes the form and they don't really pretty it up. And that has not helped them in sales. Now, with a lot of this addition, with these changes, it is much, much better. Now, there are a couple of things that annoy me. The buttons on the steering wheel, they light up when you turn it on, but otherwise, they're just like soft push. They're not buttons. They're like a gamepad controller. And then you have over here, The same thing happened on all of these as far as the climate controls and stuff, but it's not a big negative. It's just harder to tell when you're actually pushing and activating something, which, like for cruise control, tends to make me look down instead of just going, okay, I'm cruising now. I end up looking down to make sure that it turned on. That's kind of a bummer. But for the most part, this is very well done. This particular one has the Fender audio system, which is awesome. You don't get a whole ton of interior noise. It's pretty good about mitigating noise from outside, but your drive quality is good. So you still feel connected to the road. You're feeling it in the pedals. The steering is nicely responsive and everything. So you don't feel disconnected, but at the same time, it's not really loud in here either. It's a good setup for noise control versus feeling. For the most part, I really like it in here. It's a very, very well done vehicle and surprisingly comfortable and smooth to drive. So well done on that. All right, so there you have it. That's what I got. This has been Aaron with the 2022 Volkswagen Tiguan. Really well done vehicle. I'm very impressed. The upgrades are very competitive, make this vehicle a real contender and worth looking at. I will point out fuel economy is middling. There are other options on the market that have better fuel economy, but as far as the overall package, you're not sacrificing power to get that fuel economy. So if fuel economy is all that you're after, this is probably not the one you want. But if fuel economy is just one of several factors and you like to feel good and confident in the vehicle, this is definitely on your list. So there you go. That's what I got. This has been Aaron. Talk to you again soon.